Oh hi, another video regarding the Mankind Project, specifically about why there are survivors groups on the internet run by men who have completed the NWTA event, and also reports of men dying after they've attended New Warrior Training Adventure Weekend camps. So the first issue about survivors groups on the internet, I want to suggest that generally speaking, I mean, as a golden rule, if an organisation, if there are survivors groups on the internet about an organisation and you don't have survivors groups about other organisations, it might be worth considering, and I would suggest that it's a red warning light about why there are survivors groups on the internet numbering hundreds of members of men claiming to have been abused, traumatised, mistreated by the Mankind Warrior procedures. So I just want to flag that up as a red warning light. Please consider why there are survivors groups on the internet, and I would suggest it's not for nothing, it's for a good reason. Why are there survivors groups around one group and not around another group? If the survivors groups were small numbers, 10, 5, 15 men, it could be a personality uh, clash, no big deal. But there's hundreds of men on the internet claiming to have been abused and traumatised by the Mankind Project. So I suggest that's a serious red light. And as far as I'm aware, there's no survivors groups around any other men's group or self-healing thing that specifically focuses on men. So the fact that the MKP is the only one, to me, signifies something. So I'm going to move to my computer now and show you some letters that I got from senior Mankind men in response to my inquiry about suicides. So this is some papers that I've got. I'm going to try and focus away. Well, my computer's still on, but it doesn't matter. So this is not, that's a blank one. Yeah, I'm done. So I'll read you an email that I sent to what I call the leaders body, and I don't know if you can see it, but I'll read it. You might be able to. There's two actually. I've got two copies. So I'll focus on this one. And I'll read from this one. I hope you can read it. To the leaders body, I contact each man. I sent it to 11 leaders. I contact each man to raise a difficult and painful subject, which is suicides after attending at an NWTA. I am reliably informed that some men have committed suicide after attending NWTAs. Obviously, that men have killed themselves after NWTAs is very serious, and for the sake of future men attending NWTAs, this issue needs to be addressed. I have started independently collating data on this subject and want to ask you, considering your senior role within MKP, please can you let me know if any man you know or may have heard about who committed suicide after attending an NWTA ? If you cannot help with this above request, please can you recommend any source or departments within MKP who may be able to help. Suicide is obviously the most serious issue here, but I am also interested in researching figures on men's self-harming or falling into depression after attending FWTA. If you know of any man falling into these categories, I would deeply appreciate if you could let me know of these. With love and blessings, Stephen Hendry. So that's what I've been reading from. So I sent that, I don't know if you can see it, to the leaders body. So I sent that to 11 men, and I got three responses, two or three responses, and interestingly enough, here are two of them. I've isolated personal details. I'll read this one to you. Stephen, well, I won't read them because it's going to take too long, but there was two senior men, they were on the leaders body. They responded saying that they were aware of at least, between these two letters, there was either two men or three men that these two men know about who had died shortly after attending a New Warrior Training Adventure Weekend. This was another letter I got from another man when I was involved in trying to take Mankind Project up to Scotland, and that was when I had decided that I realised that I'd been abused, that I was in denial. And this is a letter from a man that was involved in helping me to do that, and he was saying that he knows two men that what he called relapsed after doing the weekend, and one of them subsequently died. So there you go, there's all the emails. So I'm going to go back over to my corner. I'm just going to cover up again, hold on. So that's emails sent to the leaders body. 11 men, 3 responded, and out of the 3 men, well, 2 responded, and out of the 2 men, they knew of 2. It wasn't clear from the writing, and they completely stopped communicating after that. After they knew that I was serious about it, the communication halted. So a little bit of investigation in England come up with 3 or 4 people that died after attending a New Warrior Training Weekend, and there is no documentation about how many men have self-harmed or fallen back into depression after attending NWTAs in England. I wanted to show you on the internet the report about the man who killed himself after attending the NWTA, but the posting I was looking for on my internet site, I can't find it, and documentation is in my flat, and I can't be bothered looking for it just now. So I hope that's helpful. Please consider, so in ending I just want to say, please consider exactly why there are survivors groups about for men surviving MKP events. Why do men feel the need to do that unless there is something wrong or abusive about the MKP? And the second issue is how many men have died after attending it, and as I said in my earlier post, one of the main men who invented the NWTA had lots of experience in the military, and they've just copied they copied abusive boot camp training elements into the weekend. So if you're at all vulnerable, I recommend please do some independent research and even contact my group or the other group. Okay, thank you, bye.